Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. I hope you all are well and fine. Welcome back to the class. This is your science class. In this class, we are going to learn the new chapter. So, let's begin our new chapter. Students, you know that there are a number of the systems in our body that are working together. For example, there is a skeletal system. With the help of the skeletal system, our body gets support. Apart from this, there is a respiratory system. We respire through our lungs, we take in oxygen, we give out carbon dioxide. This is the respiration. Apart from this, there is a circulatory system. It means heart pumps the blood and that blood goes down to our body, moves all around our body. That is a circulatory system. And there is a digestive system. We take in food, we digest the food, we take in food in our mouth that goes down to the esophagus, then in our stomach, then intestine, and there is a passage. Apart from this, there is another system known as nervous system, and the nervous system is going to be the main center of our chapter, which we are going to learn in detail. So guess what is the name of our chapter? The name of the chapter is How Our Brain Works. The name of the chapter is How Our Brain Works. It is our chapter number 4. It is on page number 27. We know that brain is the most important part or the organ of our body. It is the control center of our body. If we talk about computers, we know that CPU, Central Processing Unit, is the control center of whole computer, all the parts of computer. Likewise, if we talk about human brain or brain of any animal, so it is the control center of our body. Okay, so this is the name of our chapter, How Our Brain Works, and we are going to learn some of the things from this chapter. Let's see what we are going to learn. Before that, we can give some of the names to our brain. For example, our brain is intelligent, it's a treasure, it's intellectual, and it's smart. Okay, so the smartest part or organ of our body is the brain, and the name of the chapter is How Our Brain Works. So let's begin our chapter now. So here are some of the things which we are going to learn from this chapter, and these are components of nervous system. When we are talking about system, it can involve more than one organ of our body. So there are the components of nervous system. It is not done by a single organ of our body. Okay, so we are going to learn components of nervous system, parts of brain, spinal cord, types of nerves, reflex action, and sense organs. We are going to learn them one by one. So first of all, we are going to start components of nervous system. Let's begin. As I told you that whenever we talk about any system, so system does not require only one organ. It can have more than one organ. So here we are going to know about nervous system, and the components of nervous system are brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Brain, spinal cord, and nerves. As here you can see that the picture here is labeled as brain, this is spinal cord, and these are the nerves which are spread all over the body. Okay, so the main components of nervous system are brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Now these three things we are going to learn one by one, from which we are first focusing on brain. So what is brain? So here comes the brain, the first component of our nervous system. It is very important. This is how the brain looks like. Okay. Now here are some of the points regarding brain. Our brain is the control center of our whole body. As I told you about computer, that CPU or central processing unit is the control center of the computer. It controls all the parts of computer. Likewise, if we talk about human being or animals, so brain the function of the brain is to control the body. Okay, so this is the control center of the body. How? Because it receives the messages from all the parts of our body. If anything happens to any part, so brain receives the messages from that part and issues necessary commands. It means what we have to do, that is decided by the brain. Okay, it is issued by brain, so issues necessary commands to control the body's action. The brain is made up of special type of cells called nerve cells. I told you that the basic unit of our body is cell. Okay, cell is present in every inch of our body. Okay, all the organs are made up of cells. If we talk about the brain, okay, so there is a special type of cells and they are called as nerve cells. Whenever we say nerve cells, it means we are talking about nervous system. Okay, they are connected with each other with nerves in our body. All the nerves are connected with one another. Okay, it is like a network. They are connected with one another. Okay, and the delicate brain is protected on the outside by strong skull bones. In previous chapter, we have learned that our brain is protected by the skull because skull is a bony structure. It means the skull is the structure which is made up of bones. Okay, brain is delicate organ, so that is why it is protected by skull. We have divided the brain into three main parts, and these parts are cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. So the parts of brain according to your book are cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. Here you can see that how we have divided the parts of brain. Okay, so there are three main parts, we can say main parts. These are the main parts. Okay, there are three main parts of the brain and these are cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. Okay, but we can divide the brain into many parts according to different bases, but according to your book we have divided the brain into three main parts and these are cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. Now cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla, about these three main parts we are going to learn. Now, the first part of the brain is cerebrum. It is the main part of our brain. It has many folds and grooves. How? Here you can see that there are grooves. There are folds. Okay, if we talk about cerebrum, so cerebrum is the main part of the brain and it has many folds and grooves. It does all the thinking. If you are thinking something, the thinking power is controlled by our cerebrum. Okay, and these are the folds and grooves. Now here in this picture you can see cerebrum, cerebellum. Okay, you will have to be very careful while writing the spelling of cerebrum and cerebellum. They look similar but they are different. Okay, this is cerebrum, this is the main part of the brain, and behind this part there is another part which is smaller than cerebrum, and that is cerebellum. Okay, now we are going to learn about cerebellum. And here is the next main part of the human brain, and that is the cerebellum. It is a small egg-shaped part under the cerebrum at the back of our head. Here you can see it is at the back of the cerebrum. The cerebellum works with the cerebrum to control the movement of our muscles. We can move our muscles, and the movement of the muscles is controlled by not only the cerebellum, but cerebellum works with cerebrum to control the movement. On the other hand, it also helps our body to keep its balance. We can walk with a proper balance just because of the cerebellum. Here comes the last part of the brain, that is medulla, and the medulla is shaped like a stem. Here you can see the lighter portion is showing your cerebrum and cerebellum, but this one bone like structure. This is stem like structure which is the medulla. Okay, this is why they are sometimes called as brain stem. It comes from the base of the brain and joins the spinal cord. You know that at the back there is a spinal cord and medulla joins itself to the spinal cord. From the upper side it is attached to the brain. Okay, it is just coming out from the base of the brain and joins the spinal cord. It controls involuntary actions. Remember involuntary muscles? Involuntary muscles are those which are not under our control. So those actions which are not under control, these are controlled by medulla. It controls the involuntary actions such as breathing and heartbeat. Can we can we control our heartbeat? Not at all. Okay, but the heartbeat is controlled by medulla. So those actions which are not under our control, they are involuntary actions, but they are controlled by medulla, and it is a stem like structure which which is just coming out from the base of the brain and joins the spinal cord. So there are three main parts of the brain, and these parts are, this one part is cerebellum, and this one is cerebrum, and this is medulla. Okay, this is medulla. Now we know whenever we talk about cerebrum, this is the main part of the brain and all the sense organs are controlled by cerebrum. Imagination is done with cerebrum because all the thinking power our cerebrum has. But when we talk about cerebellum, it works with cerebrum to control the movement of our muscles. Apart from this, it keeps our body in the balance. Okay, so if we are balancing our body, it is due to cerebellum. If we talk about the medulla, medulla will control some of the actions which are involuntary. It means these are the heartbeat, these can be the respiration, this can be our digestive system. Okay, there is a movement in our organs and these are done by medulla because it controls the involuntary actions. So sensing the things, thinking and imagination is done by cerebrum. Here motion, balance and learning, this is done by cerebellum. And if we talk about medulla, the automatic actions in our body like breathing, digestion and etc. So this is how your brain works. Here comes another component of nervous system, and this is spinal cord. Here are the points for the spinal cord. The spinal cord is shaped like a tube. Here you can observe that it is shaped like a tube. It is about as thick as our finger. It starts from the medulla and goes down to the middle of our back. It starts from medulla, that is the lower part of our brain, and it goes middle of our back. It is protected by vertebrae of our spine. We know that there are 33 small bones in our spine, and they protect the spinal cord. Messages travel from our brain down to the spinal cord, then to all parts of our body. And incoming messages enter the spinal cord from all parts of our body, and then they travel up to our brain. This channel here you can observe the channel, that how from the brain the messages are coming from the brain first into spinal cord, then to the body. And likewise all the incoming messages from different organs, they go to the spinal cord first, then to the brain. So kids, here we are going to wind up our today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have learnt about brain, its functions, and the main parts of brain. If we talk about the nervous system, there are three main components of nervous system, including brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Brain and spinal cord we have done in today's lecture. In the next class, we would learn the last part of the nervous system, and that is nerves. Apart from this, we will learn about sense organs. We know that 5 sense organs are there. We will learn about that. And the last thing would be reflex action. So, I hope you have got all the things which we have discussed today. So, thank you so much. What you have to do, you have to read your chapter. You have to underline the important lines of your chapter. Okay, so thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Inshallah we shall meet in the next class. Allah Hafiz.